Shall we start?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma, please.
Yeah. Very good evening to all. With a quote of William Daly: "For any business, large or small, not to have an e-commerce strategy is a big mistake." First of all, I would like to thank each one of you joining this group discussion. It is a very honor to be a part of this discussion. Is organized by the Department of MBA of Panimalar Engineering College. To insist this, Panimalar Engineering College and Department of Management Studies, along with the Institutions and Innovation Council, is organizing discuss to enlighten the young business minds and promote the participation of students at all levels. This session will focus on the topic of prospects of startup e-business before and after COVID-19. Without, I think this session, without any further delay, we would like to start with the session and delighted to have you a suggestion and question at the end of the event. Yeah. As a symbol of globalization and in many ways its main feature, e-commerce represents the profound of success in digital era. Electronic commerce refers to goods and services through electronic media such as internet or telephone. Customers can buy anything from a four-wheeler or a chocolate, having lecture in his comfort zone and give to someone sitting miles away from just a click of a mouse. In India, it's been the shift of expansion of e-commerce is being observed by increased client choice and improving comfort. Together with the class one level of service is significant to accomplish having a strong business mode. Before exploring these aspects, is important to understand the unique attributes that define e-commerce or e-business in India. In years to come, we will look back at 2020 as a moment that changed everything. E-business is one if the leading things that have taken the Indian industry by storm. It is forced to change whole economy, which has a huge perspective and is basically varying the way industries are done, actually. And availability of large scale of goods and services is making buying online more attractive and convenient for customers overall the globe. E-commerce or e-business as element of information technology revolving spread widely in India as well as global level. Utilizing of these e-commerce or e-business, internet in business have driven electronic commerce to become one of the main competent channel for inter-organizational commerce procedure. From my view, in my view, e-business commerce will flourish easily and will make may of traditional business to run out of the business. E-business has faced many challenges during this COVID-19 period, this pandemic period, and consequences during this is especially COVID-19 we have been faced in 2020. This COVID-19 crisis has increased the share of e-commerce in total retail. Policymakers and e-business holders need to ensure that e-commerce deliver for everyone, each and everyone, now more than ever than before. Yeah.
Next person can continue, ma. Can we have discussion from the boys' side?
Otherwise, girls can start, ma'am.
Yes, next person, please continue.
Ma, start, ma, girls.
Yeah, I would like to start about saying the rapid spread of coronavirus pandemic has many businesses shut down and many workers either out of work or working from home. Families were stuck at home in self-isolation and quarantine as an effective measure of preventing the spread of COVID-19. Keeping that in mind, this puts today's online business in a rather opportunity position. Many businesses owners and are complaining about losing sales from walk-in customers, while businesses with a well-designed website are serving more customers than ever. Many businesses have seen a drastic increase in online orders since the start of customers than ever. As for the businesses losing sales, they have had to find to adapt to people's new spending habits. There was a reduction in in-person shopping, sales, and productivity. So small businesses sprung up as a result of it. Increased usage of online food and grocery orders to increase the businesses. For example, like new Swiggy, Instamart, Genie, and the meat store were on spike while during the COVID pandemic. As before, it was not that a big deal, and even ordering clothes online were a big.
I think we lost her. I don't know. I couldn't hear anything. Amuda?
Ah, yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Yeah, that's it, is it?
No, ma'am, I still didn't finish. Sorry,
Yeah,
ma'am. I have.
fine.
Okay, and then the COVID situation has changed a lot. For example, the way we purchase a thing or the way we expect a normal service, and there is more to come as technology is growing bigger and bigger, and the uh, online shopping and e-businesses still in spike.
Okay, let's discuss about the advertisements in the social media. Before the pandemic, I'm just going to talk about the digital marketing, about the before and after pandemic. So before the pandemic, we usually go to the theaters for watching movie, and nowadays, like we are just watching it in a Netflix or Amazon Prime, like whatever the website we are available to use. So before being in this pandemic, even there was a problem came because of some movies, like we are not able to release in the theater, we are going inside the loss. So pandemic like made some things has been the loss, even some have been the profit. For example, the Netflix was being so top rated and the Amazon Prime was so top rated. And more than that, even in the online shopping also, like before like pandemic, we usually go purchase in the shops, like not that much, like now we are just purchasing in the online. So before we just go purchase in the shop to just choose up the colors. So nowadays we're just getting in the online, like Meesho, like there was a many advertisement has been started in the Instagram and all the social media websites. For example, Instagram, Facebook, even in the WhatsApp, they created a group for Meesho and all, for Mintra, Meesho, like all the apps. So we can earn through all the ways. Before we usually go see take it will take them some time. Nowadays we just going pick it up in the online. We doesn't know how does it suits for us. But being in this pandemic, this has been like started. For example, if we just go purchase something, if it suits or not, we're just accepting it. Because of this pandemic, we can't go out of our place. And at the last, we're just giving out the payment through the GPay or Paytm, through all the websites. So we're just using through all the amount payment and all. So the payment we just pay through GPay, Google Pay, all this Paytm, etc.
Yeah, that sounds good, Aishwarya. It is safe to use digital payments during this contagion. Across the economy, digital payment effects and fintech witnessed record highs in 2020 as a large number of individuals chosen to remain at home due to this pandemic and lockdown measures. And also, the pandemic required conventional banks to depend more heavily on their digital channels to connect and help with clients, and a lot of banks have reported a sharp increase in usage of their digital and mobile banking channels. And this digital payments have a positive effect on all companies, be it a large enterprises or a small enterprise. It is convenient tool for accepting payment that is safe, quick, low as to expenses to the business. And this increases the company's revenue. And here I have some points about that says that two-thirds of the e-commerce business have seen changes in payment methods since the beginning of the COVID-19. After the pandemic, the growth of digital payment in India was rose up to 129 crores, and also it was 4.71 million in January 2021, but it rose up to 4.97 million in 2021.
That's an interesting fact, Ashwapriya. I would like to add up with your point that when it comes to Indian business industry, it is expected to grow 84% by 2024. So after this impact, there is no longer limit for just traditional websites and physical stores which we go directly and purchase. So this both blended with digital world. We can take Google Pay as a very good example. It has widely used in the time of pandemic because no one can directly shop in the stores, right? So everyone prefer to buy their necessary foods like food, grocery through online mode. And digital wallet has also been more largely used at that time, and it has increased up to 40%, followed by credit card by 15% and debit card by 15%. So these are the famous payment modes used in 2020. So after COVID effect, technology products and service product has been used in 41 countries. So
Yeah, same-wise, many countries recommend to switch to digital banking due to this reduced possible contagion.
okay, yeah, many countries like China, e-commerce system has been increased like 19.4% to 24.6%, and Thai by 60, and so many other countries has been using their online payment method in this pandemic. Actually, this COVID breakdown, it has been transformed the way of consumer to shop, but not but the shopping way has also been changed, and also their payment mode. So this contractless payment has been boosted, and many of them adopted for the first time at this breakdown. Now it's like shop floor is now in the palms of our hands. So
Yeah, same-wise, nowadays, government sector are also using this to address capacity processing and facilitate customer.
sorry, not audible.
Yeah, talking
Yes.
about payment gateways, it's years back it was only Razorpay who was making digital payment gateways. But in recent 2 to 3 years, PayU has introduced payment gateways, and Paytm has also introduced payment gateways. So it makes easier for e-commerce and e-business websites to run.
Okay, yeah, same ways
Hi
as the
guys.
customer has trying out new payment modes after this pandemic for their purchases, where we have increase in online payments, which has been resulting in adopting our QR codes. So, okay, when we are speaking about e-business, it has not only played an important role in the field of payment at the time of pandemic, but it also increased the opportunities of earning, like cryptocurrency and bitcoins, like so on things. So,
Yeah, as we're speaking about this net banking and all kind of stuff, we should be speaking also about the startups. We are only speaking about the already established businesses, which are already there for over a few years. But think about starting a new kind of business in this situation. Will they able to be sustain themselves in the next 10 years? Will they able to grow here? That's my question for this platform.
Hello everyone. Gayatri, you told about cryptocurrency, right? Do you know about
Yeah.
bitcoins?
Yeah, but I would like to know more about that bitcoins and cryptocurrency.
Okay, cool. It's one of the cryptocurrency. Bitcoin is one of the cryptocurrency. I hope everyone heard about it, especially in Oddstar had. But still, we will be wondering what is Bitcoin. Bitcoin was created in 2018 in a financial crisis. It is a digital currency. A currency offers a promise of lower transaction fee than the traditional online payment. There are no physical bitcoins, only balance kept on a physical ledger that everyone can have an transparent access. So yeah, so the Bitcoin is one of the first digital currency for today, and now they have brought so many currencies. So after for a long time, Bitcoin remains in a shadow, but in 2017 it began gaining when its price railed from $777.76 to $19,479 during the year, but then the gain were lost. So in the beginning of pandemic, that is March 2020, Bitcoin was again back to the trading and fight at the $5,000. However, that year Bitcoin's value roses nearly 300 percentage, outperforming gold by the factor of 10. By the end of December 2020, that is the peak of COVID-19, the cryptocurrency was trading at the record high of close $30,000. So Bitcoin begins changing. The investors start seeing it as a digital gold.
Purnima, do you think it's legal in
Yeah,
India?
glad you asked it question. Asked this question. Bitcoin is legal in India, which means you can buy and sell it on it. Sorry, you can buy and sell it and hold it as an investment. But there is no governing body to look after it and protect it. So there is a lot of confusion in India right now. So the thing is that there are no regulation in the country yet for bitcoins and the cryptocurrency.
So, do you know how it exactly works?
Yeah. There are a crypto exchange that makes it relatively simple. It's a very simple one actually. To open a crypto trading account, first we need to sign it in an exchange, and then we need to fill out our personal information and verify our email ID, and it will be secured. So the account will be opened, and we can transfer our Indian money in to the trade account, and which we can use to purchase the bitcoins. And also you can if you want to sell the bitcoins, so we can change it into the cash. So do you know the value of $1 bitcoin in Indian rupee? That is 6,89,745.94. So
Interesting.
yeah, seriously. So the Bitcoin, which was born out of 2008 financial crisis, beneficially from the next big financial shocking of the world got world. So in the pandemic year, we were go, gone down in a economic struggle that remains floating, and the funds began to move out of the stock market rapidly. But the Bitcoin platform gave the more benefits. Like Tesla announced in the month of pandemic that in all over the social media that it have acquired 1.5 billion worth of digital currencies. So after that, in the month of April, it rises to the nearly uh, nearly nearly $65. So yeah, so I hope in the future Bitcoin and cryptocurrency will play a major role in the world.
So, I
Yes,
guess
I do think so that cryptocurrency will play a major role. But I'm more specific about how it's reaching more people time by time. It's through digital marketing maximum. So everyone is using Instagram, Facebook, and everything is being advertised. Everything is pre-planned, actually, to be exact. So your preferences, your searches are filtered in order to provide these kind of cryptocurrency ads and other kinds of ads as well. So I think we can take the discussion up to social media marketing again.
So coming back to cryptocurrency, I guess I've left the point there. So I had one suggestion. Like I know about the basic principle of cryptocurrency and the Bitcoin. Does anybody know how it works? Okay.
Actually, I like to hear about it. So,
Yeah, okay. So it works on a blockchain. So what is a blockchain? Do you have any idea? Okay, so let me explain. As the name suggests, it's a chain of blocks. Okay, so what we do in accounting is we do post ledger posting and journal posting, right? So a blockchain is a digital ledger where we'll post the transactions of buying and selling of Bitcoins. So as I said, it's a digital ledger. It is mainly maintained in a network of computers. Those computers are designed in such a way that they cannot be hacked or altered in further. So it is very secured, and people say it's very secure and it cannot be hacked. Yes, there exists hacking, but still, sources say it cannot be hacked. Since as we know that it is decentralized, that is, no third party or government will be involved in this. So it is very transparent. So to be precise, it's a digital record.
Actually, it cannot be hacked, but people holding wallet can be hacked.
Oh, nice to know. Does anybody know what is cryptography is? Okay, so let me
I
explain.
think cryptography is used in cryptocurrency
Yeah,
to keep it secure.
yeah. You're right. So cryptography is a technique which we use in WhatsApp for end-to-end encryption, which uses basically of points. It's a very scientific term, so I don't want to touch in deep, but still it's just a source of information. So like the data is encrypted in terms of dots and points. So that's how it works in WhatsApp. So coming back to the blockchain. So what happens in blockchain is once, say, let me take the example as a Bitcoin. So when we purchase and sell the Bitcoin, it has been entered. The data has been entered into a computer of a large network of powerful computers, and it is transmitted. Once when it is transmitted, it reaches, that is, the information is broadcasted. So when it is broadcasted, the information that we send, the computers actually authorize it. Like whether the transaction is actually made or someone else is making the transactions. So the transaction is first authenticated and it is verified. This process is called as the Bitcoin mining. Okay, so later what happens is the miner who gets it first will be rewarded with a block, okay, where the transactions will be entered. So along with the Bitcoin, he will be awarded with a new block. So these are paid. As she said, instead of physical money, we use as cryptocurrencies, right? So here the fees will be given along with the new mined Bitcoin. The fees actually, the amount actually depends on the volume of transactions. So after the purchase, you know, inside the ledger, the transaction is being posted cryptographically. That is, I said, it has been encrypted, and the sales transaction is also entered into the ledger, like it is distributed inside the ledger, and the network, the computer network in which we transmit, has to confirm the sale. So once when it is done, it is completely done. So the block is timestamped. That is like what we do, you know, in packets, like in common packets, like whatever we buy, we have that time, right? Time and date. Like that, they'll be stamping it with time packets, and it will be permanently entered into the chain of blocks. So chain of blocks of transactions, which is a blockchain, which forms the blockchain. So all the previous blocks in the Bitcoin transactions are using a cryptographic fingerprint called as hash. That's why we represent it as hashtag D or hashtag C. And the sale is completely processed. This is the concept of Bitcoin, blockchain technology, which acts as a fundamental principle behind Bitcoin. Actually, what happened was this is actually a satellite topic in many countries, and only few countries like US, it is legalized. In China, they've totally banned it because they feel that since it is a capital economy and also it is a communist country, they don't want the money to flow in an illegal manner. They just banned it. So in India, it is being budding, as Purnima said. Before and after pandemic, there's a lot of difference because people were not aware of Bitcoins before. But after pandemic, when people get to know, since lockdown played a major role, people get to know, got exposed to social media. There were a lot of promotions there, and this actually made it possible for the growth of the Bitcoin market. And there were falls in the Bitcoin market, but still the technology has improved a lot and it helped a lot. Also, one surprising information about this is this was actually introduced it was given as a theory in 1982 on discussing it. I'm just telling the paper, a research paper. Its title is "The Design of a Distributed Computer System That Can Be Established, Maintained, and Trusted Mutually in Suspicious Groups." So it went off there, and 2008, a pseudonymous name Satoshi Nakamoto titled a Bitcoin peer-to-peer electronic cash system. That academic theory is now in worldwide use. So it is, to be precise about its pros, it's decentralized, transparent, and it is accurate and secure. So that's all about.
Sharada, thank you so much. It was a big deal on crypto and the relevance of Bitcoin, right? A lot of information being shared. Thank you so much, Sharada. Can we hear it from someone else?
Ma'am. Sure.
Yes, Pranav.
Coming back to our topic, we usually pay our taxes, electricity bill, and some other usual routine payments through standing by line and through e-Sevai Mayam and etc. But nowadays e-commerce has grown rapidly, where we can use through GPay, PhonePe, and some more etc. This is very useful to reach our goal. And after this, India is planning to be full digitalized for 2022 July 6. Maybe happen soon. I'm hoping.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm myself Pranav Varshan, and I'm from MBA section. I would like to present you with education technology, EdTech. Okay. Online education, tutoring, web courses have come up to be in need of an hour when schools, colleges, education institutions were not allowed to function. Online education sector had a sudden surge when people and countries were looking for the alternatives in accordance with conventional teaching and learning. Hello? What was the disturbance?
Yeah. Continue.
Okay.
Continue.
People were afraid to send their children to schools and colleges and education institutions because of the social distancing. So at this time, education tech, EdTech saw a major growth and tapped on every possible entity they can. Also, which is like a more convenient and sustainable. With coronavirus locking down Indian cities in the month of March in 2020, as you know, Online education and e-learning platforms have seen astonishing adoption and exponential growth. Around globally, around like 1.5 billion students were grounded almost overnight, and cities were locked down and schools were closed. Every schools, colleges, educational institutions were closed. As this impacted on online education. This also impacted on increase in smartphones, sales of smartphones, laptops, electronic items, like that. Students were students were required to attend it digitally. As per this report, according to the BARC, BARC India, Broadcast Audience Research Council of India, it has shown that 30% increase in time spent on these educational apps on smartphones since the lockdown. EdTech company which saw a major growth in this pandemic crisis is Byju's, India's earliest EdTech startup. It saw around 7.5 million new users on its platform since it started offering the new free access to its content. The time spent on its app previously, before pre-pandemic, was like 70 minutes. But during the quarantine, the time has rise to 91 minutes. Unlike other startups like Oyo, Uber, and Zomato, they are cutting down the people. They are cutting down the workforce. But other educational technology startups were like Grad, Upgrad, Venda to Simply Lane. They were creating at least like 3,000 jobs in a year, which is large at the time. At the stage there, people were cutting jobs, cutting down their workforce. Okay, coming back to Byju's. Byju's is now valued at around 21 billion. It has raised billions of dollars in this year, in 2021, across multiple series of valuation. It also surpassed the Paytm, now recently published a listed company. It has a highest which has a highest value startup in India. It maintained its lead to be Byju's. It maintained its lead as the highest valued edtech startup in the world. Almost all in the world. It's number one. Company Byju's raised its capital from MC Global EdTech and also from the Zoom, the competitor. Zoom founder Eric Yuan and Abu Dhabi's sovereign fund. It's a government fund. Byju acquired nine companies in this year, including a coaching center, Akash Institute. You would have seen in TVs, right? That's and the rival Topper. They also acquired the Topper and the US based learning platform Epic, and also upskilling platform Great Learning, which Virat Kohli used to come in ads, right? Okay. Due to this accelerated increase in smartphone users and shift to digital learning models, education technology industry in India is expected to reach at least to $30 billion size in next 10 years. Beyond schooling system, education technology startups have also enabled individuals to explore various newer skills. People were learning skills, Python, C++, many more skills. Not only technical skills, but many skills, and also allowed the experienced users to take the newer challenges in tech industry more easily to keep up with their pre-existing knowledge. Like they were going into the AI, machine learning, etc. Okay, that's it. Thank you, ma'am.
Hello. Myself.
Yeah, it's audible. Continue. Yeah, it's audible.
My topic is apps for medical line. Not only education, it's also they have been given a massive of positive in doctors in online. They are launched startups, many startups apps for in medical. we have got virtual communication with the doctors in a pandemic time for diabetes patient also, even a health patient, whatever the diseases as a patient, they had got mutual contact to the patients in any time for 24 hours, like the apps as a protocol and uh, Tata Health and 24 by 7 doctors. It's also given not only that they are given services in a free virtual contact also they are provided, and also they are given they have got turnovers and crores and crores, and also they given best services to the Indian in a pandemic time, and also not only that they also given a just minute. They also know given a free trial of giving a consumer to a free comfortable that they also given a multiple language to conversation to the doctors in any time and anytime and anywhere else, and that's
Can someone explain about the e-commerce websites?
Hello.
Yeah.
Audible?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's audible. Yeah.
See, e-commerce had a very high spike during the pandemic because of the situations and lockdowns. So I'll speak from my experience of how it worked. So we started a business, an organic store during this pandemic. It was started as an NGO work to provide food for the poor, but we found the situation to be dire in the other end too. People, the middle class people also. So we wanted to deliver the vegetables straight to the people. So we ventured into online e-commerce portals, and it went well for some time. But after the lockdown, it went very deeply. So this situation is because that people lost their trust in us. This is another reason is that things was readily available after the pandemic. So doing a sustainable business in e-commerce could be a kind of risky stuff. We do not know until we venture in it. We are still trying to subdue the issues we had, and we are trying to promote ourselves. Soon we'll be launching stores, a direct marketing, a direct stores. That's how the e-commerce works right now. So already established companies can live for some time, but think about startups. They surely will have struggle to compensate for this.
Yeah, I agree, Revan. But e-commerce websites such as which deliver dairy products, taking Swiggy, Instamart, Country Delight, so and so, they have been seen enormous growth in the upcoming days, and they are in a delightful manner only now. So since you have started only regarding the organic shops, could it be a reason for failure?
Yes, it could be because not all people consume organic foods, and not everyone is interested in organic foods. It's more like a status symbol. I think so. So that took some damages too. Another thing you were saying as a new company, Country Delight, it started in the midst of pandemic. But the huge thing they had was promotions, social media. Their social media platforms were very strong, and their influence hit much more. Like they started very low, but now they are moving very fastly. I think they are opening up stores too. The one thing we weren't see uh, was capital. Actually, we don't have much of a capital. This idea of e-commerce itself for us came as a whim at the edge of the situation of the virus. Otherwise, I wouldn't have ventured in. So, but they are corporate peoples, right? So they have some more ideas, some more margins. So it is tough for a normal person to enter into entrepreneurship in situations like this.
Okay, okay. May I interrupt you people by asking, is it favorable for established firms like Amazon to enter into what do you call retail? Right? You know already that they are into electronics, everything, but why should they get into consumer goods? Like they offer Amazon Fresh. Are you do you think that these people are becoming a heavy, big competitor for the coming up startups?
Yeah, ma'am. They already have the customer base where startup don't have.
Actually, continuing, ma'am, most of the e-business and e-commerce websites have established an ecosystem. So, entering into a new ecosystem will be a tough situation for new budding entrepreneurs. So, for example, take Geo. Geo came in like with a huge set of investment so that he can overtake Airtel and Vodafone. So he is now the monopoly in the sector. So he has created a complete set of ecosystem now. So for a budding entrepreneur, when he starts now, entering into a new system and creating an ecosystem will be a much more difficult task. But suggesting if his concentration is loose on asset side and concentrating it on e-business and delivery sectors and quality, it will be even more easier to enter into this e-business and e-commerce sector.
Okay, well, where do you think which areas of businesses, for example, it can be either a grocery retail or apparel retail, which area, if the this particular startups, what would you advise a person who would want to become an entrepreneur to start in which area? Like it can be a dairy products startup with e-commerce or can be anything. So I want to know to which area would you all try to project your business into if at all you're going to start an e-business.
Actually, recent statistics insist that in cities, it's mostly 60 to 70% of the areas are covered with already e-business and e-commerce sites.
E-commerce, yeah.
Yeah. So going to rural and village side will be an even more easier side, and cities like which are growing cities like Erode and Salem, and in south sides Tirunelveli, Madurai. Concentrating in those cities will be much more easier compared to Chennai, because in Chennai already the market is fixed now, more or less. It's Swiggy or Zomato, it's Jio or Airtel, it's Amazon or Flipkart. So the market is already sticking on to a duopoly concept. So we can insist an entrepreneur to stick to other cities like Salem, Erode. In the south side, it's Tiruchi, Madurai, and Tirunelveli, which will be much more easier to gather a customer market there.
I would like to contradict your point, Hari.
1 second, Revant. I would complete this. I mean, I would like to know what would be the attitude of people towards online businesses, towards e-businesses.
People are getting comfortable with online businesses. In initial days, they didn't trust the online businesses, but now after Amazon cash on delivery, people started to trust e-businesses.
Because he could not go to any shop. He will see and order it, and he give the feedback whether it was good or bad. It makes very easy to consume the goods or giving feedbacks to the goods. It makes very easy to.
Ma'am, after being in this pandemic, it's been like from 2020. After that, we started accepting it to the online. For example, being in Amazon, we just order any clothes, whatever products if we order. If we make a fast payment, so we get through the online as soon as like before and all we have to pay for it. Nowadays we have like free deliveries. Like so, I hope like the online business is being trending nowadays.
Okay, I'll be speaking about the seller side of this aspect. Okay, see, most of the sellers in Amazon, right? They won't get to know the person personally. Like their customer, they cannot be known personally to them. If they do not know them, these persons cannot repeatedly buy from the seller, and this becomes an issue of the brand. So Amazon is only projected, and my brand is not projected. So this is going to be an issue of e-commerce. Like if and it also has a prospect for it. Like I can start my own e-commerce and I can maintain my brand. Otherwise I can go with that and I could get some income. So it's both ways.
Actually, if you start up in whatever like a month Mintra or whatever the products, if you just start up, you have like you're going to be the in charge for that. If I just buy some product, I don't know is that you are the in charge for that. So being an online, like we doesn't know who's the selling the product, who's the owner of the product, who is the uh, get giving the products and all. We just know the delivery person who just delivery. Like for example, Swiggy also we just order from a hotel. We know which hotel for the products which we buy in the online. Like for example, groceries also we might know, but for the clothes we will not be knowing about it, right? So like from I just ordered for the last few months ago. I ordered a glass, so I just got it from. I thought it's from Chennai, but it came from Gujarat. So we doesn't know what is like from where we are getting deliveries. So being in this online, that is what the backdrop of it. But when we go purchase in wherever like shops, like it'll be like comfortable for us, so we know the person. If there's any damage we can just give. Even being an online we can return the goods, but there'll be dates given for this 30 days or like 15 days. So like in that there's a backdrop, even there is a benefit for us. There'll be thorn and there'll be pro also in this.
Actually, speaking of seller's point of view, more if in Amazon and Flipkart, if a product goes beyond the sales margin, Amazon and Flipkart are copying the same exact design and manufacturing the same. So it also actually affects the sellers. So Raymond already spoke about that. So adding to this point, Amazon and Flipkart are copying the designs of a particular model, and they are implementing it in the name of Flipkart Basics and Amazon Basics, so that the entrepreneur in that particular salesman perspective is being affected.
Likewise, being a buyer or being a seller, like
Being
seller
a-
doesn't know who is the buyer and who is the seller. Only the product which we buy through the online, that's all we know. We don't know who's the buyer, who's the seller. The buyer just know what is the product and from where we're just getting it. That's all. Being a seller, they doesn't know where the product is going on, because they might have like more than 5 or 6 products they might have more than companies all over the places, wherever, like for example, like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Delhi, Bangalore. If you just order cloth order from the online, we just know where does the cloth come from. We doesn't know which place does it comes from. We doesn't know if it's a trends or if it's being a max.
These e-commerce businesses allowing a refund policy where we are not when we get a product or a cloth, if we feel it's defected or mismatched, so we can claim our refund. This is another option to customer to get satisfied.
Sorry, we can't hear you. Kindly be.
It's getting breaking. Audio is not clear.
Sorry, it's not audible.
Sorry, can we have Raven to summarize?
Yes, ma'am. So thank you. First of all, thank you all guys for joining in. Yeah,
Sorry
it
to
was an
interrupt.
interest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually, two people haven't completed their point, so we need to do
Just,
later.
just
Yeah, ma'am.
okay, no problem. Can you make it fast since the meeting will get ended by itself?
Yeah, okay, ma'am. Fine. Ma'am. Yeah.
Raven, please bear and
okay, ma'am. No issues.
okay. Jashwanti and one more.
Yeah, Sandhya, ma'am.
Yeah. Please make it fast, ma'am.
Sandhya, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here to talk about e-auctions. We all know about auctions, right? And coming to the point, I'm going to discuss about e-auctions. And e-auctions were started on April 8, 2009. E-auction is nothing but an auction is a transaction between seller and bidders. Here, the sellers are called as auctioneers, and the bidders are the ones who supplies the business to business scenarios. And bidding is the main thing in auctioning. Bidding is nothing but offering to pay a particular amount of money for something by different people. And here, why do we need online auction? Auctions was first familiar with people. People directly go to the auction site and they used to approach, or they used to auction the things they want to do. But during pandemic, people can't go and directly and offer for auctions. So it was made every business people was concentrating on online business, online auctioning, and this was so successful during the pandemic days. And why do we need online auction is online auctions open up new sales channels for new products and also offer buyers favorable purchasing conditions. And it has effectively created a giant virtual marketplace where people can gather to buy and sell, trade, and check out the goods of the day. And here we have to register. If we are going to register an auction site, we have to register first, and also we are provided with passwords where our site cannot be hacked or misused. And here, coming to the point, Amazon.com launches auction site, and it has now Amazon has now stepped on to auction sites. And Air India Property, Coal India, SBI also has many auction sites. And auction sites for best overall is eBay. eBay offers many online auctions, and for real estate is also an auction site called as auction.com. And for best business equipments we have BitSpotter, and for luxury items we have Sotheby's, and for government supplies surplus items we also have government surplus items the auction site is GSA auctions. And the benefits of online auctions are there is many differences between direct auction and online auction. By direct auction, the amount we are auctioning is the amount we have to pay. But here in online auctions, they are also providing us many offers. It has reduced the purchase price, and market efficiency has tremendously increased. Higher procurement process efficiency has also been increased, and it has access to a large supplier basis. And how it works, how online e-auction works. Conducting an auction to sell assets, natural resources of other goods through online competitive bidding. By bidding, people go and choose their assets or the natural resources they are auctioning for. And successful bidders deposit the balance amount, then they use it to deliver order against which they can take delivery of assets and resources for the sellers. And auctions through internet are also very, it is also safe, and it is also trustable. And eligibility criteria will be like above 18 years anyone can participate. And for auctioning, if you are auctioning an asset like it may be vehicles, or it may be a house, or it may be a land, anything it may be. And the valid period is also given for that up to 45 days, and through that we have to
make sure and confirm our auction which have been done for, and it encourages competition with the result that goods and services are offered at current market value. They only offer at current market value and not about anything above or below that. And they also follow many methods in doing auctions. Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I agree with you, Sandhya, but I think that e-tickets which you said, like it is nothing but an electronic ticket method. As you all know that year 2020 has been dealt a blow on a global scale with economic activities and with restrictions, and the people were actually confined into their homes due to the novel coronavirus disease, that is COVID-19 pandemic. And we are a country like 130 crore people across the social strata moving between cities and states. As somebody said about e-commerce applications, like e-tickets application companies like Red Bus and Make My Tricks and even IRCTC faced a huge and drastic loss, and their services are actually down during the pandemic situation, as many travelers were seen chasing, and the traveling companies post lockdown for refunds, as everything is down and the air tickets cancelled. And many of us lost a lot of money in this process. And however, like COVID-19 did come with a fine silver lining for travel enthusiasts, and because of this, people were trying to have a hypothetical trip which incorporates the several traits and trends coming to the travel business going forward. So these include travelers' preference for domestic destinations reachable by car and stays at their own private rental properties instead of crowded hotels or resorts. And because of this, digital e-ticketing slowly starting their move after the pandemic to make by making a service effective and efficient for customers, like sanitizing their seats, availing offers for their flight tickets, and giving coupons to attract their customers, to just attract them. And it's like the transport facilities and the industries. I think even the in education, entertainment, or industries like cinema faced a major crisis during the pandemic. Theaters had to shut shop and due to the nationwide lockdown. So due to this, people sheltered indoors, and they watched movies in OTT platforms, which severely affected the um, employees and the managers. Because of these, there was vigorous and downfall in the digital e-ticketing process. And on all fronts, I think the rapid spread of COVID-19 is being compared to a war or a battle, and with an easing of restrictions and slow return to pre-pandemic life, movie halls and theaters have been opened up now across cities, and eager movie watchers are getting bounced back to the cinemas. Government has made a few protocols like to watch whenever you go to watch a movie, the people should vaccinated with 2 doses, and they are allowed to watch the movie only if they are completed their second dose. And I think this actually this initiative took just to avoid the future consequences. And I feel that these digital e-ticketing industries are making a path to recover the losses occurred during the pandemic, and making an initiative to attract those people to evolve this like services one in a better way. Yeah, I think I'm okay. Done. Yeah, ma'am, I'm done with my points.
Yeah, I request Raven to summarize. Raven, can you
Hello,
please?
I have one topic.
Yeah, make it quick.
Present it.
Yeah, make it quick,
Okay.
Naveen. Yeah.
Hi, warmly welcome you all. My name is Naveen. Let's get into your topic now. I will talk about business to business topic. The rapid increase in the number of internet users thus attached a number of new budding entrepreneurs to set up establishment by flooding the market with innovation prices and stocking practices. will marketplace versus intervention will traditionally place bricks and monetary stores are catching up because its availability of numerical choices in terms of brandings in internet and the discount offers while is providing by some offers and reducing delivery times. It was quickly delivered to your homes, personalification, cash on delivery, and it provides also digital payment infrastructure, and easy returning has been a major factor for developing in the B2B business. While the Amazon, which is developed by this business, this types of factors only. Let's see about the advantages in India is growing demands. It's higher in last quartering of 2020, which it's developed 36% of it's increasing in market. It's a beauty product and wellness of PCM and W segments being the larger beneficial in the 2020 in a lockdown time. In e-commerce, in e-business, it's plays a very vital role in market sectors in e-business. Market is expanded to reach US dollars since 111 billions by 2000 levels is estimated to develop it. Okay, it was the rises. It's increasing investments because today day-to-day life it's increasing investment. The digital transaction is very higher in the market. The recent rises in digital lecturers has led to an influx of investment in e-business firms and e-commerce firms. Levels in the market for a new player to set up their bases while searching out invention patterns or to distribute old functions. And the policy supports it's to help to advantage in India. 100% of FDI is allowed in business to business communications and business to business in EV communications. 100% FDI under the automatical rotates. It's permitted in the marketplace model of businesses. Okay, the time was up. Thank you, ma'am, for this opportunity.
Okay, is there anyone else? No, we are going to wind up. Okay, if at all, we'll continue in the next session, right? Please, Revant.
Okay, ma'am. I think it was a quite long session.
Yes,
very interesting indeed. Very interesting. The topic in itself is a very vast domain, and it had very much subtopics which can be discussed as separate sessions too. So I'll start from the beginning when we started social media and how it influences e-business, social media in itself as a business, and so on. And from there, it went to how e-commerce works now and how it had affected us during the pandemic, how it helped us during the pandemic. And as e-commerce evolved, payment systems evolved, and there are many payment systems which are into place. And one thing we missed here is cloud space, because without cloud space, any of these wouldn't exist, to be exact. Say from social medias or YouTubes or your advertisements, anything needs cloud space, a storage where it's easily accessible, and we are paying now for that. And one topic which stood out in all these subcategories was cryptocurrencies, and someone was giving some deep explanations about it. We were implored. Many get to know more informations about cryptocurrencies and its legal possibilities in India. And we had medical applications of e-commerce, how we were able to interact with doctors during the pandemic without directly getting into contact with them, and other such things are one of the plus points which was here. And after which, and very important topic was discussed, the future of education. Like nowadays, it's more pointed towards an online systems, and as companies are much interested in skills of a person rather than the qualifications or a degree of a person. Online certification courses are on the rise. So that was an interesting topic as well. And finally, we had two topics, which are like online auctions and e-tickets. That's what had happened today. So it was nice. It was nice having a discussion today. As I said earlier, each and everything had to be a separate session, I guess. Maybe we can conduct it in the future. So thank you, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you
you
everyone for
all
joining.
the first years and second years. Thank you for joining, and it was indeed a very nice session. Hope this will continue in the future too.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, before you leave, I want the videos to be on, please, so that we'll take a screenshot of all the participants.
On the
Can you put your video on?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, ma'am. Definitely.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you very much. Everyone on your video, ma'am. Ma'am, screenshot எடுத்துட்டீங்களா?
Ma'am, is it finished, ma'am? Can we go?
1 minute. Still, there are some. Naveen, I couldn't see your video, man. ஒரு இடத்துல நில்லுங்க, ஓடிட்டே இருக்காதீங்க.
Ma'am, it was visible for me.
Yeah, Hariharan, இன்னொரு Hariharan, 124 Hariharan, I couldn't see your face. Part of your face is visible.
Naveen also photo you cannot
No,
be.
ma'am.
Hari, you can stop recording so that we are just taking the pic. You can stop recording, ma. Hari?
Hariharan is not there.
Ma'am, now it's clear or not, ma'am? It's Naveen.
Naveen, I couldn't see Naveen.
Oh,
Can you see anyone else?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, I see Kishore and Raven and Pranav, Sudan. All are seeing. My video also visualing your. So, was any technical problem, ma'am? I will.
Okay.
Okay.
No props.
Can you go, man?
Wait, Pandra.
Hariharan is not there. What happened? I don't know.
Please hang on just a second.
Ma'am, சீக்கிரமா முடிங்க. கிஷோர் மொட்டை மாடியில நடந்துட்டு இருக்கான்.
பனி பெய்யுது மேம், கொஞ்சம் சீக்கிரம் முடியுங்க.
1 minute, 1 minute. கொஞ்சம் வெயிட் பண்ணுங்க. முடிச்சு அனுப்பிச்சிரும்.
Ma'am, ஒரே ஒரு ஸ்கிரீன்ஷாட் போதுமா?
One is enough, ma'am.
Okay. Fine guys. Thank you.
Video on.
Video on. Thank you, ma'am. Camera சரி பண்ணுங்க. Okay, fine. Thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you.
Everyone, thank you.
Ma'am.
அவங்களுக்கு view
Bye.
Ma'am, okay, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am. Thank you for the session, ma'am.
The opportunity, ma'am.
Ma'am, நல்லா பேசுனா ma'am.
Yes, Naveen. Good.
Okay, ma'am.
That's a good start.
ஹரிஹரன் என்னாச்சு? வெளியே போயிட்டாரோ?
தெரியல மேம். இந்த கூப்பிடுறேன் மேம்.
என்ன இது ரெக்கார்டிங் ஸ்டாப் பண்ணனும்.
சரி பரவாயில்ல, நீங்க என்ன போங்க, நான் பாத்துக்கிறேன்.
ஆன்லைன்ல தான் மேம்